Today we're going to read Where's Stripey? This is an Australian book. And it's written by Wendy Binks. Crikey and Sheila Emu lived at Fair Dinkum Flats. Sheila was very tired. She had just laid 30 big green eggs. I have just laid all these eggs, she told Crikey. Now I'm going off to rest. You must sit on the eggs and keep them warm. When they hatch, you will have to look after the chicks for me. Remember, there will be 30 chicks. Don't lose any of them. Crikey looked forward to seeing the chicks when they hatched out of the eggs, but he was a little worried. He knew he was a bit forgetful, and he couldn't count very well. 30 sounded like an awful lot of chicks. He sat on the eggs for many days. Then one by one, they hatched out into 30 splendid little emu chicks. Crikey was very pleased with himself. That wasn't so difficult, he thought, as the chicks snuggled beneath his warm feathers. See them all? Next morning, Crikey took all the chicks to Krusty Creek to look for yummy seeds and grass to eat. The 30 chicks ran here, there, and everywhere, and Crikey grew quite dizzy as he tried to keep count of them. This is harder work than I thought, he said to himself. Look at his eyes. Then one of the chicks tapped Crikey on his foot. Her name was Leggy. Hey, Dad, she called up to him. Crikey looked down. My brother Stripey is missing, she said. Oh no, Crikey groaned. Are you sure? Quite sure, said Leggy. Stripey has disappeared. Crikey was frantic. How cross Sheila would be. Cross means mad. None of the other chicks had seen Stripey. Crikey just had to find him. He found two of his emu mates, Husey and Chiz, and asked them to keep a careful eye on the 29 chicks that were left. Then Crikey set off to find Stripey. Crikey crossed Windy Bottom Gorge, where he found Dozy the koala sleeping halfway up a manna gum tree with a joey spike. See the koalas? Hey Dozy, Crikey called up. Have you seen my chick? His name is Stripey. Dozy opened her eyes and looked down. What does he look like? She asked slowly. Does he look like you? No, said Crikey. He is small and fluffy and stripy. Sorry, I haven't seen him, Dozy said, and closed her eyes again. Koalas sleep a lot. So Crikey ran on, past Mussel Duck Crossing and over to Dingbat Ditch, where he saw the two kookaburras, Smirk and Giggle, who were laughing their heads off. Hey guys, he called to them once they'd stopped laughing. Have you seen my chick? His name is Stripey. These are the kookaburras. They're Australian birds. What does he look like? Asked Smirk. Does he look like you? No, said Crikey. He is small and fluffy and stripy. No, sorry, Smirk and Giggle replied together. We haven't seen him. Crikey left Dingbat Ditch and headed for Furball Creek, where Cheeky, the bush-tail possum, lived in a hole in a peppermint tree. Cheeky, Crikey called out, are you at home? Cheeky peered out of his hole. Have you seen my chick? Asked Crikey. His name is Stripey. What does your chick look like? Asked Cheeky. Does he look like you? No, said Crikey. He is small and fluffy and stripy. Sorry, I haven't seen him, said Cheeky, and yawned and went back to his hole. Crikey ran on until he got to Broken Springs, where he saw Harley the motorbike frog with his tadpoles. Hello, Harley, Crikey said. He was feeling desperate by now. Have you seen my chick? His name is Stripey. What does your chick look like? Asked Harley. Does he look like you? No, said Crikey. He is small and fluffy and stripy. It's odd that he doesn't look like you, Harley said. Crikey didn't think that Harley's tadpole looked like their dad either, but he didn't say so. Well, he said. Sorry, said Harley. I haven't seen him. Crikey ran on and on, looking here, there and everywhere for Stripey. He reached Dusty Bucket Gully, where he saw Bluey, the red kangaroo, resting with her Joey socks. "Hey, Bluey," Crikey said, "have you seen my chick? His name is Stripey." Bluey said thoughtfully. "What does your chick look like? Does he look like you?" "No," said Crikey. "He is small and fluffy and stripy." "Sorry, I haven't seen him," Bluey said, and Crikey thanked her and ran on. By this time, Crikey felt very tired. Still, he kept on. He crossed Critter Creek and came to Snotty Gobble Spa, where he saw a flock of mother emus. They were all gathered around something, but Crikey couldn't see what it was. Crikey ran up to the group, but before he could ask them if they'd seen his chick, he heard a voice say, "Dad!" All the mother emus turned around to look at Crikey, and he saw that on the ground between them was a single chick. The chick was small and fluffy and stripy. Yes, Crikey had found Stripey at last. He was very happy. Hey, there's Stripey. Then Crikey saw that Sheila was one of the mother emus gathered there. She looked very cross. Again, cross means mad. Look at that. That's a mad face. "Oops," thought Crikey. "Where are our other 29 chicks?" Sheila demanded. "Oh, Hughesy and Chiz are looking after them back at Krusty Creek," Crikey told her sheepishly. "Hughesy and Chiz," she repeated. "Oh no, that will never do. Come on, we'd better get back to Krusty Creek right now." So Sheila and Crikey and Stripey set off together as fast as they could. Back at Krusty Creek, Hughesy and Chiz had gotten himself all twisted up trying to keep up with the other 29 chicks who were running here, there, and everywhere. Stripey ran to join his brothers and sisters, very happy to be back. It was the first time Sheila had seen all her newly hatched family. "What splendid chicks," she said proudly. She wasn't cross anymore. "You've done a great job, Crikey. 30 is a lot of chicks. I'd better stay to help you look after them." How relieved Crikey felt when he heard this. Hughesy and Chiz were feeling very relieved too, as they carefully untwisted themselves and headed for the nearest watering hole. "Thanks, guys," called Crikey and Sheila. Then they gathered up those small, fluffy and stripy chicks and took them home to Fair Dinkum Flats, all 30 of them. And that's the end of the story, but here's some interesting facts about the emu. The Latin scientific name of the emu is, I can't pronounce that. But this word here means New Holland, which is what Australia was once called. And the first word here means running or racing, and that makes sense. Emus are the national bird of Australia and are found in most areas of the continent. They are a member of the ancient group of flightless birds called ratites, along with cassowaries, kiwis, ostriches, and rares. Their tiny wings are used only to cool themselves. These long-legged birds grow to 2 meters, that's about 6.5 feet tall, and they are the second largest bird in the world after the ostrich. They are nomadic, following food and water, and can run up to 70 kilometers, that's about 40 miles per hour. They love water and are good swimmers. Emus eat fruit, vegetation, and insects. Emu eggs are large and dark and green. One emu egg is equivalent to approximately 10 to 12 chicken eggs. Although it is possible for emus to lay 30 eggs, it is much more common for them to lay 8 to 12 and sometimes 20. That's why he had so much trouble with 30. Emus breed in winter, and the male emu then that goes broody and sits on the eggs for 56 days. That's 8 weeks. During this time, he does not eat or drink and often stands up to turn the eggs, which he does 10 to 12 times a day. He may lose up to 1/3 of his body weight while incubating the eggs. The female emu leaves the male soon after he goes broody. Goes broody means, I think, taking care of the eggs, and may mate with 1 or 2 other males during the season. The male also rears the chicks, takes care of them, and stays with them up to 18 months. Chicks that hatch out have a 70 to 80% chance of reaching adulthood. Baby emus have stripes when first hatched, which give them excellent camouflage. They lose those stripes at around 2 months. And as emus have no teeth, they need to swallow stones to store in their gullet to crush up tough food so it can be digested easier. So if an emu swallows your earring, don't bother following it around waiting for it to come out at the other end. It's being used as a crusher. And one last fact on emus. They are part of the Australian coat of arms, where the emu is on one side and the kangaroo is on the other, because they're two animals that do not know how to take a backward step. So there you have it, an Australian story about Where's Stripey.